JP, brother, we're here at UniteUS Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Okay. First, let's go all the way back because you've done a lot of these. What drew you in to doing these events?
No, there was no these events. It was one event. It was in Auburn. I was invited to speak at Auburn. At first, I was like, no, because it was going to be planned in 6 weeks, and I was like, man, what's going to happen in 6 weeks? And they said it was in the basketball arena. And then a friend reached out and was like, hey, this is my mother-in-law, Tanya. She's got a big vision. She's been praying. And would you do this? I said, sure. So we flew to Auburn. I thought I was going to talk to 600 college students. Ended up being somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 in the arena. And at the end of the night, it was a powerful night, wonderful night. And at the end of the night, this young woman had never been baptized, so she texted and said, hey, I would really like to get baptized tonight. And so Jenny's on stage, and she's like, hey, do y'all have any water? And she's like talking to the audience, and they're like, the Red Barn. And she's like, we're going to the Red Barn. And so we thought it was like across the street. It was half a mile away. And so we all go out and we start walking to the Red Barn. And it was magical. All these pickup trucks line the pond. And we baptize this young woman and just, clarify that she knows the gospel, that Jesus died for her sins and raised from the dead. And that night, I think 250 students got baptized. There's really 250 gospel conversations. It was not just like line up and dunk. It was like lots of conversations. And it was amazing. And we thought it was like one and done. It was incredible. Like that event was awesome. And then Alabama called, and Georgia called, and Tennessee called, and Florida State called. And now I think this is number 19, 18 or 19.
Wow.
And it's been a crazy ride. It's like revival on college campuses.
Yeah. And you say 19. How many years ago was the Auburn?
2 years.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, if you go back, that was right after probably the Asbury, thing.
Right.
So you kind of see this kick off.
Yes.
You're going now into this, like what God is doing on college campuses, and it's spreading. So it was centralized. Now you're seeing it spread. Brother, what are you seeing? Like you're getting to see some things that a lot of pastors, a lot of churches, a lot of Christians, they're they live in their own world, and that's fine because they don't get to go everywhere. You get to see this on different campuses, different states. Is it revival? Is it awakening? What is it?
I think we get clumsy with our words. Like I don't have a better word than revival, and awakening doesn't bother me. A movement of the Spirit. It just seems like God is turning hearts toward Him, and He'll use anybody. Like I'm a living proof He'll use anybody. I'm a chump from a small town in Texas with a 2-year degree in art, and I'm just telling them about Jesus, the same Jesus that changed my life. I'm like, listen, this guy died and raised from the dead. And if there's a heaven, like what else are we going to live for? And it seems like people are responding to that. It's happening in prisons. It's happening in universities. And there's just something right now. In fact, if any believer is paying attention to this, I hope that we are mindful to share the gospel, because the doors to hearts have just swung wide open.
Yes. And you bring up such a great point. So we want to end on this. This is what I want you to hit on a little bit. It seems like a lot of times in our church bubbles, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying we live in this secluded local church bubble a lot of time, that we don't go outside beyond the walls of that, right? We don't join in with what we see the Spirit doing.
Right.
How can I want you to encourage, I want you to press in to encourage Christians to step beyond those walls and say, something is happening in United States of America. It'd be this. We see the event that happened with Charlie Kirk. We just see, like, God is like, here you go. Encourage the church to step out beyond their means that they're kind of comfortable in. You know what I'm saying?
In Matthew 16, Jesus gathered the disciples and said, who do they say I am? And Peter speaks up and says, you're the Christ, the Son of the living God. And he says, that's right, Peter. And you're my rock, and on this rock I will build my kingdom. And whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. And so these guys are cowards. They miss it. They leave that moment. And, 3 verses later, he's like, get behind me, Satan, to Peter, because he just can't get it right. And when Jesus dies, they're terrified. They're hiding in a room upstairs, and then they see the resurrected Lord. And when they understand that Jesus defeated death, those guys, Peter was crucified upside down. James was thrown off the Temple Mount and clubbed to death. John was boiled alive. those cowards turned courageous because they understood the resurrection. And so Christians cannot be stale. We cannot be dead in our skin. Like, if we understand that God defeated death through his son, Jesus Christ, if we understand that same Holy Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead is alive in us, then we have to tell everyone around us how they can live with God forever, because every person's going to die and every person's going to face judgment. And how in the world can we have the greatest news the world has ever heard and keep it to ourselves? And if you're afraid, you got to push past that. If you don't know the words, you've got to learn them. If you don't know how, then take a class and watch a YouTube video. Read the gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, and just tell that story and watch. I think God will show you what he's doing right now, and then you're going to be spurred on thereafter to tell more. But don't keep it to yourself.
Right. And this isn't, I don't want to say, correct me wrong, this isn't anything special. What you guys are doing, this can happen in the local church. Just be willing. It's
special, and and what is available to you is special.
That's right.
And so you have something special available. God's going to do something tonight. I believe it. He's been doing it. But he's going to do something in your grocery store line, in your cube farm, in your favorite coffee shop, in your bank, wherever, in your community, in your neighborhood, in your school. Like, he wants to do something special through you too. And so here I am, Lord, send me.
Right. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise, bro.